All right. Awesome. So this will be recorded. All right. Well, I will get started at 11:02. For everyone who's joining, who doesn't know me, I'm Brooke Shapiro. I am the founder and I say Mom Sheen of Sprinkles Parents. Sprinkles Parents, we provide education, resources, and community for all of us with kids under the age of 7 or so who have gone through this pandemic, who are learning as we go. And I'm so excited today, as I'm struggling with financial planning personally with my family right now, to have connected with Funmi from Todlr. I'll let him explain the benefits of Todlr to you guys, and he's going to share with us some tips and tricks to have some really great financial planning tools for you guys to set your kids up for success, set you guys up for your kids' success for the future. So please ask any questions you have along the way in the chat. I'll be managing it, and I'll hand it over to Funmi from Todlr from there.
Thanks, Brooke. Thank you so much for the introduction. Hi, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be with you. I'm super excited to talk to you share some tips with you today about how to prepare for your child's financial future. Because the moment we have kids, our life, a huge part of our life, becomes centered around them. And we're constantly thinking about how to give them the best opportunities in life, how to support them, how to ensure that, those big, big, beautiful goals and big, big plans that they have for the future, we're able to support them, right? So I'm going to start out by talking a bit about myself and my own story, right? Because I find it easier to connect. So my name is Funmi. At the age of, and here's my money story. I was born in a middle-income family. My mom's a lawyer, my dad's a financial consultant, so the whole shebang, right? And at the age of 6, they both separated, right? And when they separated, my mom then took over the financial obligations of the entire family, right? She took care of my bills, the house bills, as well as my sister's bills. And what that meant is growing up in a situation like that, that really affects, it already has an effect on the way you view money, right? It already puts you in a mindset where you're interacting with money differently. You're thinking about the things that you would love to do if you had money. You're thinking about the things that, you want to do to make money. So as at the age of 11, I was already trying to make some money. I was, selling candy to my friends in school. I'll take candy to school, mark up the price like 3 or 4 times, try to get it a good deal, right? And at age 14, I wanted to be a pilot, right? I wanted to be a pilot because that was something I was really passionate about. But I don't know how familiar you are with the cost of, being flight school, but it's really expensive. So it was one of those, beautiful goals or dreams of mine that I couldn't pursue. And then at age 16, I was really curious about money. I really wanted to learn about money. I really, really wanted to learn about money. But there was no one teaching me about money. So school didn't teach me about money. Society didn't. My parents didn't. And I really wanted to learn about money. So I started reading, and I read my first book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was my first introduction to learning about money. And then by age 20, I began my professional experience, right? I joined a fintech company called Bamboo, which is similar to Robinhood. We help, individuals invest for their future. And I started making real money. That was my first time making real money. The money I had wanted since I started selling candy at age 11, I finally started making that money. And what came with that was lifestyle inflation, right? I realized that as I started making more money, my bills kept on increasing. I still pretty much felt the same way. So my relationship with money just wasn't terrific. And then I came across a stat that changed everything. I found out that 77% of adults live paycheck to paycheck and worry about money, right? And first off, that stat blew my mind because I was like, how come? Like, why is this figure so large? And then at the same time, it made me feel better because it made me feel like I wasn't alone, right? It also made me very empathetic and driven to understand the problem better, right? And in my quest to understand why, I realized that the problem here is not money, right? The problem here is not how much we make or how little we make. I realized that the real problem here is the relationship that we have with money. And you might begin to ask, oh, what do you mean? Well, I'll explain that, right? That's the first thing. I found out that the real problem is the relationship we have with money. I also found out that it's a generational problem, right? Gen X's, baby boomers had this problem. Gen X's had this problem. Millennials had this problem. Gen Z are gradually having this problem. And I said to myself that there's a need to fix this for the next generation. There's a need to partner with parents to help give their children a life that is much better than we've experienced. And that made me obsessed. That is what led me to building myself and my team to building Todlr, which I'll talk about at some point in the course of this presentation. But first, let me share this formula with you. You're here because you want to find out how can you prepare for your child's future. How can you plan for your child's future? Well, here's a secret formula. If we're trying to exit and rise above the statistics, there are two key things. There's preparation and there's education, right? First off, as parents, we need to prepare for our children's tomorrow, right? We need to think about what are the important things about my child's future? What are the important milestones, the important goals that my child, would face when they're 12, when they're 18, when they're 20, when they're 25. And we need to prepare towards hitting those milestones. And in addition to preparing for our children's future, we also have to educate them, right? It's not enough to set a huge wad of cash aside for your child's future. We also have to educate them about money. We need to teach them the practical skills, to have a much better relationship with money right from when they're early. And with preparation and education, you then set your child up for a life of financial security. I like to call it a life that is, free of money issues, no stress, no worries, no anxiety. And definitely that is something that we all want for our children. So in the course of this conversation, and I like to call it a conversation because I'm going to throw in questions. I want everyone to, interact in the chat with answers. So in the course of this conversation, I will be sharing 5 tips to help you plan for your child's future. 5 tips. So I'm going to share these 5 tips. If you stick around, I might have a gift for you. We're going to find out. So you're going to have to stick around till the end of this, conversation to find out what that gift is. And I would also answer any questions that you might have to the best of my ability. So if you're excited, I want you to put in the chat, let's go. And I'll start with tip number 1. Put in the chat, let's go. Okay, we're excited. So tip number 1 is create goals, right? And I'm going to ask a question, and I want everyone to interact in the chat. What are some of the important things that you would like to prepare for your child's future? What are some of those really important things that when you think about as a parent, you're like, oh, when Jason is 20 or when little Victoria is 18, what are some of those things that I want to be able to help her with? What are some of those things I want to be able to help him with? I want to find out, I want to get your opinion on that. Okay. Brooke says education, apartments, car. Okay. Let's get some more comments. I want to get your opinion on that. And as you put that in, what I'd like to say is with our children and with your child, every moment matters, right? I'm sure as a parent, you remember their first laugh, their first words, their first step. You remember their first birthday. And I'm sorry, I have to mute someone. There we go. Okay, great. So you remember their first words. Every moment matters when it comes to your child. And every moment is important, from the small ones to the big ones in the future, right? And as a parent, it is very important that we embrace and prepare for our children's future moments, our children's future goals. This could be something short-term, like an upcoming birthday, or a much bigger goal, like a future home or education or a family vacation. So it starts by creating a goal. You create a goal, you set a target, and you walk towards that goal. So some of the goals that you might consider preparing for could be education, a birthday, a first car, to travel the world, a healthcare goal, a daycare goal, or a safety net to just protect them in case of, things that are exactly. Brooke says wedding, Ryan says education, wedding, housing. And then we also have money for medical emergencies just in case. Exactly. So it's very important that we create these little goals, these tiny boxes, and then we begin to walk towards them. So let's go to tip number 2. Set the right goals. Set the right goals. So I'm going to throw this question out there. Does anyone have any idea, and you could give an estimate, back of the envelope calculation, does anyone have any idea how much it would cost to send, their child to college, right? Have you ever sat down to ask yourself, how much is college going to cost to send Jason or Victoria or Mason to college 10 years from now, 18 years from now, 15 years from now? If you have an idea of that figure, put it in the chat. I'd like you to share that, right?
I think I read it was like $52,000 a year for Harvard or something.
Okay.
At this moment. Which is crazy. Okay. Times 4.
Times 4. That's a huge figure, right? So what I'm trying to communicate with this slide is, yes, we set the goals, but it's also important that we set the right goals. We set the right targets for these goals. And due to the fact that I'm not seeing, oh, wow, Tim says 500K in 2038 or zero. You never know. Hopefully it's 0, right? But it's very important that we know what goal we're preparing for, how much we're trying to save towards that goal, and how we're trying to, hit that goal. Dave and Victoria say 140K in today's dollars. Great. So if you know that figure and you just want to confirm, or you have absolutely no idea how much it will cost to send your child to college, I have a tool that will be very helpful to you. So on the Todlr app, you can download it after the call, or even the course of the conversation. If you download the Todlr app and you create a child, you create a profile for your child, you can check out the college calculator. So the way it works is, would ask you a couple of questions like, how old is your child? What sort of college do you want them to go to? Do you want it to be a private school? Do you want it in state or out of state? And then you tell it how much you're looking to invest every month. So $500, $300, $200. And then it'll ask you how much of the college costs are you looking to cover? So do you want to cover all the college costs? Do you want to cover, a certain part of it, maybe with the help of financial aid? And once you put all of that information there, the Todlr college calculator would then estimate how much you need to invest or set aside every month towards your child's college goal. So essentially, the point I'm trying to pass across here is setting the right goals. Does anyone have any questions so far? Feel free to put in any questions that you might have in the chat, and then at any point in time, I'll address them.
So are you saying that we should invest in 529s? Because I feel like there's a lot of, news or feedback. There's a financial advisor here in Oakland that was saying you should invest in bagels. You shouldn't buy bagels and invest in college. Anyways, should we be investing 529s, or are they thinking college prices may go down, or and with 529s, you can only use it towards college education? What if our kids don't go to college, in the future, with more entrepreneurs out there? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Okay, great. So the 529 question is one that I get often, right? And the way I like to answer this question is, it's different for each family. It's different for each parent and for each child, right? You might have 4 children, and the way you're investing for one child is different from the way you're investing for the other 3 children. So what's really important is, based off of the conversations you have with them, your perspective on life, and the sort of passions that they're already telling you about. I mean, as at age 6, you already get a sense of if your child wants to be a pilot, or if they want to be a doctor, or if they want to be a musician, right? You're already getting a sense of that. And especially with the way things are trending, we're going to have a generation where less people are going to go to college. More people are going to want to be entrepreneurs. They're going to want to be content creators. They're going to want to, pursue other passions, right? So the way I like to think about it is that, first of all, let's think about all the important goals for our children's future. So education is important. In addition to education, you probably want to think about investing for their first, for them to start a business. So money to start a business in case they have an entrepreneurial instinct, or money to buy a home, or money to buy a car, or money to travel the world, because with the next generation, they're going to be more curious. They're going to want to go to places that we never even thought of going to, right? And once you think about these 3, 4, 5 important goals, what I would then say is that you want to invest in all of these goals in addition to education, right? So gone are the days where you're investing in just education. For the next generation, you want to invest in education and their first car, and money to start a business, and money to buy a home, right? And then any money that's invested towards education could then be invested in a 529 account. Right. So I like to look at it from, what are you trying to achieve? What is that milestone? What is that goal? What are you trying to give your child? If you're trying to give your child an advantage in life, a financially secure future, you know that education is just one part of the puzzle. Education is an important part of the puzzle, but so is money to travel the world. So is money to get a home. So is, a safety net, or an emergency fund, or money for healthcare. So you want to be invested in these goals as well. And then any money that you're setting towards education, you can then invest, the significant portion of that in a 529 account as well. Is that helpful?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, great. So let's head to the third tip. The third tip is start early. So here's another question, and I'm gonna take 2 minutes. I want to get as many opinions as possible. Assuming that the rate of return stays the same, which do you think could be higher? Investing $50 every month for 20 years, or investing $100 every month for 10 years? Let's go in the chat and answer. Let's know if you think it's $50 or if you think it's $100. Put it in the chat. Let's go. Patricia says 50 times 20. Okay, let's get some more opinions. Assuming that the interest rate stays the same, which will be higher? Okay. We have team 50 and team 100. Right now, it's Dave and Victoria who are team 100. Any other person in team 100? Come on, let's see. Any other person in team 50 or team 100? Seems like 50 is taking the lead. Okay. One more person. Vicky says 100 just for fun. Okay, great. Okay, first off, I'm impressed by the responses. I'm impressed. And the point that I was trying to draw out here is that sometimes investing for a longer period of time is better than investing a higher amount of money. And I'll show you that with this video. Give me a sec. Where's the video? There we go. Can you see my screen? Okay, so here's a video to help. What you see here is the $100 has stopped, but the 50 keeps going. It keeps going. It keeps going. Right. And because of the help of compounding, and this was calculated assuming a 7% return rate, compounding rate, right? Because the $50 was invested for a longer period of time, even though the same amount of capital was invested, we gave the money a whole lot more time to grow. And that ended up giving us $8,000 difference, which is a huge difference, right? So the point that we're trying to pass across here is that sometimes investing for a longer period of time is worth more than investing a higher amount of money, right? And it's really important that we know that, because as a parent, time is your biggest asset. Time is your biggest asset when it comes to planning for your child's financial future. Sometimes we tend to kick the count down the road. Oh, we're gonna start when Molly turns 6, or when Jason is 12, or when Jason is 2, right? Sometimes we tend to kick the can down the road. We tend to delay it, but then we realize that, in fact, it's always better to start early. The best time to have started was 2 years ago, when your child was first born, during the baby shower, right when you got them in the hospital. The next best time to start is now, right? And here's an easy challenge to help you get started, right? Sometimes you realize that big goals could be scary, but by investing bit by bit consistently, and with the help of compounding interest, we're able to hit these big goals much easier. So the earlier you start, the more time you have to, prepare for your child's future. So here's an easy challenge to get started. Every Monday, you can invest $1 to their birthday goal. On Tuesdays, you invest $2 into the safety net, $3 into education. On Thursdays, you invest $4 into travel. On Fridays, you invest $5 into education. On Saturdays, you invest $6 into the birthday goal. And on Sundays, you invest $7 into education. What's going to happen is that at the end of the year, you would have invested $104. And this is in addition to any other deposit that you make in the course of the year. In addition, this is aside any other deposits that you make in the course of the year. It's aside any other gifts that they might get. By the end of the year, you have $104 into the safety net, $200 into a travel goal, $364 into a birthday goal, and $780 into education. So what we're trying to draw here is, and I'd like everyone to take a screenshot of this, take a screenshot of this goal, take a screenshot of this challenge. And at the end of the presentation, we're going to make this guide available as well, right? But I want you to look at this and challenge yourself. So for you, it might not be $1. You might choose to invest $5 on Mondays, and $10 on Tuesday, and $15 on Wednesday, $20 on Thursday, right? But just building this habit, starting with something really small, allows you to prepare for those big goals. Everyone got it? Okay. Now let's go to the fourth tip. Automate it, right? You're incredibly busy. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone who, joined this session, joined this webinar, and has stayed till this point, right? Because you're incredibly busy as parents. Time, your time is split across multiple tasks. So to help ensure that the process is seamless, you want to automate the process, right? You want to set it and forget about it. And this is one of the ways that the Todlr app helps you. You create a goal, which could be for education, the birthday, to travel the world. You set a target for it, and you say you want to invest $5, you want to invest $100, you want to invest $20, you want to invest $1, and you want to invest it daily, weekly, monthly, annually. You set the amounts, you set the frequency, and Todlr does the rest for you. So you never have to worry about, oh, I forgot to set aside $4, into education, or I forgot to set aside $3 into the birthday fund. So you want to make the process as seamless as possible. And that is what Todir does for you, right? After creating your goal, after deciding to start, human psychology tells us that by automating the investments, it increases our chances of hitting those goals. And investing, the key to building long-term wealth is investing brick by brick. It's not by falling into a windfall of cash. It's by investing brick by brick, by setting it aside and letting it compound. So my challenge to everyone here is take that action, create that goal, start now, and automate the process so you never have to worry about it. Automate the entire process so you never have to think about it. And here's the 5th tip for today: financial literacy, right? Money is such an important part of our lives, and yet no one teaches us about it, right? Financial literacy is very difficult to get. It's very difficult to be educated about money, because till this moment, we complain about it, but school doesn't teach us about money, right? Society can't teach us about money. And as parents, it is our responsibility to do our very best to help teach our children about money. But then again, a lot of us are already having difficulties interacting with money. So how can we teach what we don't know, right? And that is one of the ways that we're looking to help out at Todlr. This is a part of our product that's not ready yet. It's still in development, but we're creating a product, to help you learn about money as a family. Personally, I started, interacting with money at age 6. As at age 6, when I was getting birthday gifts, I would always say, when my uncles and aunties would ask, oh, what do I want for my birthday? I'll say I want the money. I'll say I want the money. And they'll give me the money, and I'll put the money in my piggy bank. And at the end of the year, every Christmas period, I'll break the piggy bank and I'll take the money, and then I'll go to the store to buy whatever I want, or to buy all the candy and all the games that I want, right? And within that is an opportunity for 2 things. It's an opportunity to learn about money as a parent and to teach our children about money. It's very important that, we start the process for our children right from when they're young. You might be asking, well, how early is too early? I started knowing that money existed at age 6. For some other children, it could be age 3, it could be age 4. I like to say that the moment you go to the store with your child and they're saying, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this candy, I don't want this one, I want this, I want that. That is the point where they are aware that money buys things. And that is when you should start, having little conversations with them about money. So as long as, you stay connected to Todlr, you stay within our reach, we're going to be sharing some guides with you to learn about money as a parent and to help, teach your child about money. So here's a sneak peek into the Todlr guide, right? Welcome to Todlr Learn. We've built Todlr Learn just for you and your kids and the entire family, right? Money is an important part of our lives, but no one teaches us about it, right? And there's a need to take advantage of the catalyst that is financial literacy. Does anyone have any questions at this point? Feel free to put them in the chat, because I'm reaching the end, right? And for everyone who stuck around, I have 2 gifts. First of all, here's a bonus tip. The bonus tip is to involve family in the process, right? We have grandpa, grandma, we even have Monica from HR. We have friends, godparents, godparents, loved ones. Our advice to you is to involve family in the process. It takes a community to raise a child, right? So whether it's by investing towards an education goal or their first home or first car, you could easily invite a family member into the process. Oh, we're investing $300 every month towards Victoria's college goal. Feel free to chip in an extra $20 or an extra $30, or even birthday gifts. There's no need for, the 100th toy or that 1000th toy that that is just going to be wasted, right? And you want to involve family members in that process, in the process of preparing for their future and the process of educating the children about their future, right? At this point, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about Todlr, and then I would answer any questions that you might have.
Yeah, I think the one thing for all of us as parents to know that I just wanted to share, it's hard for some of us where we're now learning about money, right, as adults, what that value system is, how to manage it, how to budget accordingly. And again, as you said earlier, and teaching our kids at the same time, knowing that we're still learning, And I think that's like the biggest thing for us is to figure out as parents, us learn and share as we go so they are all set up for success. So thank you for giving us these tips so that we can start planning. I like that chart. I think is going to be really helpful. I shared it in the Sprinkles Parents Facebook group if folks didn't get the screenshot. So yeah, let's hear about Todlr.
Absolutely. You're right, Brooke. We're still learning, and then we have to teach our children about it. So it just makes it a bit more complicated. But we're working on something super cool and super exciting that you've never seen before that would help you in that process. And I'm very excited about it, actually. So fingers crossed it comes out soon, right? But let's talk a bit about Todlr, right? So Todlr is a collective of individuals that are incredibly passionate about helping parents give their children a life of financial security, right? We all have our individual money stories. We all have our experiences with money, right? And we've come together and we're like, something has to change. We see that there's a problem that needs to be fixed for the next generation. So what Todir is doing is that we're on a mission to create a financially secure next generation. And we're doing this by partnering with parents, with families to help them, prepare for their children's future, invest towards their children's future goals, and teach their children about money. So we believe that with the help of Todlr, your children are going to have, one, the resources to go after their dreams. So whatever that goal is, whether it's to be a pilot like I wanted to be, or to be an artist, or to be a scientist, whatever that goal is, they're going to have the resources to go after them. And then they're going to have the skills to manage their wealth. They're going to be able to budget. They're going to be able to save, delayed gratification, a much healthier, much better relationship with money. And they're not going to experience, the worry or the stress or the anxiety that some of us may have experienced. So some of the things that we value are fostering financial freedom for the next generation, supporting families everywhere, every step along the line, right? Realizing that there's an important role that the family there's an important role that the family plays in fostering financial freedom for the next generation. So partnering with families to make that happen, and then building an entire generation that is free of money issues. And here's how we do it. With the Todlr Invest app, you can create a little investments that give a lifetime of joy. So we help you create goals, goal for college, whatever that goal is. You could even create a custom goal, and then you can determine how much you want to invest towards that goal. So it could be $5, $100, whatever that amount is, and we help you automate it. So we automate the entire process so you never have to worry about it. Secondly, Todlr helps you invest without any financial experience, right? So if you don't know anything about money or you don't have any investment experience, here's how Todlr helps. So when you sign up on the Todlr app and you're creating a goal, we ask you a couple of questions to better understand your financial situation and your goals, your risk tolerance, your plans for the future, your time horizon, etc. And based off of that information, Todlr then recommends a portfolio for you. So this portfolio could be conservative, it could be balanced, it could be aggressive, it could, it could be a growth portfolio. And then we suggest a portfolio for you. You have the choice of going with the portfolio that Todlr recommends for you, or you could select a portfolio of your choice. And then we help you invest towards that goal in that portfolio to hit your goal. So if you have no investment experience, you don't have to worry about it. That's all taken care of. You can start with as little as $1. Additionally, we help you involve your loved ones in the process. So this is a feature that's still in the pipeline, but would help you involve uncles, aunties, grandparents in that process so you can invest collectively, right? The Todlr products, where through our partners, we have regulatory clearance and we're SEC regulated, FINRA regulated, and every investment on Todlr is SIPC insured up to $500,000 against liquidation, right? Against bankruptcy of the firm. So SEC regulated, FINRA regulated, SIPC insured. And then, in addition to helping you invest for your children, we're also passionate about educating the entire family about money, right? Sometimes money conversations might seem like a taboo, and we want to fix that. We want to fix that for the next generation, right? We want to help you as parents create a warm and nurturing space to learn about money with your kids, right? Another thing that we do or will do is we're going to help you create a personalized learning path and personalized learning guides for your children to learn about money by playing games, by watching videos, by doing tasks, and for you to learn about money. So we're building this holistic product that helps teach the entire family about money. So like we said, back to the initial formula, with preparation and education, we're able to set our children up for a life of financial security. So what are you waiting for? Scan the QR code right now to download the Todlr app, sign up on Todlr, create a goal, fund that goal with $100 or more, and you stand a chance to win $200 into that goal. So I'm gonna leave this here, and I'll answer any questions that might have been put in the chat.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions? Maybe something you're hoping, you have specifically or have experience with? This is the time. We have a great financial consultant, obviously Funmi's background, so he can definitely answer anything else that you may have top of mind or wanting to learn. Oh. That's great. Thanks, Tim, for joining. You're on mute, Funmi.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. Feel free to put in any questions that you might have, any feedback that you might have as well, maybe with the presentation, if there's information that you were hoping to hear about but you didn't hear about, whatever it is that might help us do a better job. And scan the QR code to download the Todlr app, sign up. I'm also going to put in my email address in the chat so you always have direct access to me in case you want to give feedback or want to share your experience or you need help with something. I'm going to put that in the chat right there. So feel free to mail me personally. I will respond very quickly to you. We're also going to share this guide. We're going to make it available with some additional resources, some challenges that you might check, and some tips that might be helpful to you to learn about money and teach your child about money.
Yes, thank you. And as a follow-up to this meeting, we'll send out the email with the recording of this, the information, like Funmi said, the toolkit, and anything else you guys need. So thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Funmi, for your time. So excited to check out Todlr. I've been playing around with it, and I really like the college setting goals. It's been very helpful for my husband and I to plan accordingly. So thank you. And have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.